What's up, guys? Tigo from SGN. I'm here to talk about FIFA 19 because let me tell you, the hype is absolutely building for me. And I was FIFA out around April and May. I completely stopped playing FIFA at around May because FIFA 18 was the FIFA I played the most since probably like FIFA 11 or FIFA 12. Back when I was playing online constantly, I had a record of like 320 wins and like 10 losses, something like that, which might not seem amazing for pros nowadays. But for me back then, let me tell you, I felt like an absolute god doing that because I very rarely conceded goals. I was consistently scoring like 5 or 6 goals per game in ranked matches at like Division 1. So I was just an absolute monster for what I was back then. You know what I mean? Like not something crazy compared to the pros now probably, but for back then, I just felt like an absolute god. Moving on to the video that they showed for FUT 19, excuse me. I'm actually really excited now for the game. Like before that, like I said, I was kind of FIFA'd out. I wasn't 100% sure I was going to buy FIFA 19, and yet after seeing that video, I was already pretty much leaning towards buying it, and then once I saw that, I was 100% like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get the game. Because realistically, once the hype starts to build, I am always going to buy FIFA. I've only skipped FIFA 15 since like FIFA 06. So I'm slightly obsessed with the game. Like I don't go out there and like spend money on FIFA points. I don't go out there and spend, I don't know, thousands of hours like certain people do, but I do spend without a doubt hundreds of hours playing FIFA, and I will without a doubt be doing that with FIFA 19 as long as the game doesn't absolutely suck. But FIFA 19 Ultimate Team, they added some interesting things. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the thing that probably interests me the most, which was actually the first thing they mentioned in the new video, which I'll leave the link in the description down below if you want some further details. Which essentially is the new way you're going to be able to qualify for the weekend league, because the squad battles are still there, but they've completely removed daily knockout tournaments, and they did completely remove the divisions, it seems like, because this is how they're going to be replacing that. Ranked divisions, or no, rivals, excuse me, is what it's called, where essentially you're going to be rising up the ranks, and based on your performances, based on your wins, just like divisions, you will go up and go from like Division 10 or something like that, or Division, I think it said rank 5, but regardless, I think it's Division 10 you start off, and then as you go up the ranks, like rank 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, as you get up there, then you eventually level up to the next division, which is actually really cool because that's a nice little tier system that we see in a lot of games like Hex Mage, something like that on computer, or you see it in a lot of fighting games as well. As you go up through the tiers, as the ranks, then you're able to go up to the next division, and that's really, really cool. I'm happy to see that FIFA is adopting that because since FIFA is such a competitive game, especially with Ultimate Team, they definitely needed to adopt the other pro styles, and that's something I'm very, very happy to see. And as you go up through the ranks, you also are able to earn Weekend League tokens, which is essentially what gives you access to the Weekend League. And the thing I really, really, really love about this is that the Weekend League tokens are no longer usable that one weekend. You can actually save them now and use them for future Weekend Leagues. So let's just say, for example, I qualify for the Weekend League, I put in a ton of effort, and then all of a sudden, for that weekend, for some reason, I have a major, I have an emergency, or I have something like I simply can't skip. I can't dedicate myself to like do 40 games of FIFA in a weekend. So I can just save that token for the next week when I know I'm 100% going to be free all weekend to play as much as I want. That's a beautiful thing, because one of my biggest issues, apart from a lot of times the inconsistency of the gameplay for FIFA 18, my biggest issue was probably the fact that the quality of life of the game was so poor. Like there were a lot of times I would just find myself frustrated or just not enjoying myself when it comes to everything other than playing the game. Like whether it be the weekend league being so stressful, or knowing that I have something to do this weekend, but I need to find the time to be able to play the weekend league. It was very frustrating. And I like the fact that now these tokens are usable whenever you want. And I think that's a very, very beautiful thing. And I do appreciate EA Sports trying to, at least this is what I think they're trying to do, is possibly trying to improve the quality of life for players, considering all the criticism they've had since FIFA 18. And really prior to that as well, over the pack system and the fact that it's essentially gambling. So I think that they are trying to improve the quality of life. That way people have less reasons to complain about the game. And hopefully that will prove to be a very, very positive step in the right direction from EA Sports and FIFA 19 moving forward. The other thing I want to talk about is the new icons, all right? I really, really am happy about the new icons. However, I want to see a few other ones that added. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the ones they added. They have Johan Cruyff, who's at 94. They have Rivaldo, who's at 92, which in my opinion should be higher. They added Roberto Baggio, who I think is a 93 or 92, and his stats, in my opinion, are pretty bogus. Like, he only has like 84 shooting. I think it's 86 pace. He has like in the 60s physique, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that they really need to boost his card, but he might be one of those guys who doesn't have amazing stats, but all of a sudden you use him and you realize how phenomenal he is. But in my opinion, a 93 rated Baggio, he needs to be rated higher, considering unless proven otherwise, that is his prime version. So in my opinion, that's pretty low for Baggio just from a statistical point of view. A 93 is okay, but the stats, like individual stats for shooting, physicality, all that stuff, in my opinion, needs to be a bit higher. They also added Steven Gerrard, I think, as a 92. They added Frank Lampard as a 90. They added who else? I'm forgetting somebody. Anyway, they added a bunch of new icons. I'll leave the picture right here so you can see them all. And I'm very, very excited to go on and use them. I'm expecting them to add a lot more as well. I think they've already talked about how there's going to be a hell of a lot more. And I do actually like the new design for them. In FIFA 18, they looked fine, but they actually had pictures that seemed kind of just too modern when you're talking about icons. You know what I mean? When we're talking about icons, you got to think about vintage players. And when you think about vintage, you think about black and white photos, and you just think about something that looks like it's classic, and I think that they really, really nailed the design of it, and it just looks great. I would love to try them out, whether it's on draft or whatever it is, and hopefully I will have the opportunity to use Johan Cruyff. I especially look forward to using Roberto Baggio and using Rivaldo as well. I'm not going to be using Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That would be blasphemous for me as a United fan. So if I get them in a pack, in a non-tradable pack, then I will put them in my team, and I probably will use them on the bench, but they'll never be starters for me. I can guarantee you that. As well as, if I get them in a pack where I can sell them, I won't quick sell them because I'm a moron, but I will auction them off immediately, and they will not be used. I will only use them if they are in a pack where they are untradeable, until I can use them for another icon pack, and hopefully get somebody who I actually want to use. Because Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, not going to happen on my team, not on Pochuchu FC. Anyway, another thing I want to talk about is the new designs in the game, the new animation, not really animations, but the presentations. I love the fact that now when you score a goal, the little picture of the player that scored pops up, his ultimate team card, plus the stats right next to that on the other side of the pitch. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful, in between scoring a goal and having the kickoff. That's very, very beautiful. I love seeing that, and I like to see the improvements that they've had. I also like the fact that there are now specific cards with Champions League backgrounds or Europa League backgrounds. I think that's a very, very nice little touch there for Ultimate Team, and I hope that won't be specifically each player has Champions League versions, which I think they have actually talked about that. And I don't know if that means every single player that's in the Champions League is going to have his own Champions League version, or if it's going to be every player who does well in the Champions League. They haven't really announced that, but based on the fact that there's 83 rated players in the Ultimate Team cards, I think that's probably going to be every player that's in the Champions League is going to have his specific Champions League edition. Will they have boosts and stuff for that? I don't know. That hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully there will be some interesting things. From a gameplay perspective, they also did add a few new things. For example, you can now juggle in mid-run. So if you're sprinting, they showed a clip of Kevin De Bruyne juggling and getting past his man. And in my opinion, seeing what happened there, considering he was playing online against one of the developers who might not be a good player, I don't know, but the way it looked right there, it seemed like it might be a bit overpowered, because juggling in that game was already kind of overpowered. If you were able to use it, you can do sombreros over the guy, and you can just kind of it wasn't overpowered running or something like that, but if you're standing in position and you were able to use it, there were ways you can get around the defenders. And I think that if you can do that on the run, they might make you a little bit too tough to stop, and it might just give you fouls outside the box pretty easily, and maybe even inside the box. So I am kind of wary about that. I don't know if I'm expecting that to be a very positive thing. I am expecting it to be kind of overpowered. But regardless, that is a nice little touch, because, of course, that is doable in real-life football. So I'm all for them adding things that you can do in real life and adding it into the game. Just hopefully it won't be too overpowered. And the other thing that they added, which I'm sure they added more stuff, but these are the things that were put in evidence in that video, which the guy that was playing the game in that video, he did say to himself he thinks it's going to be probably overpowered, which is essentially, while you're sprinting, you can now fake a fake, which means you can act like you're going to do a fake, but you just keep on sprinting, which is going to add another extra touch of almost impossible to defend in FIFA 19. And essentially what that means is you can act like you're going to fake, but you can just keep on sprinting, which means you're going to have a very, very big chance of having a lot of space in between the defender if he does fight on the fake. It's kind of hard to understand, but there will be a video right here that you'll be able to see it all, so you should be able to understand what I'm talking about. But regardless, if that's overpowered, that they might have to nerf that a little bit, but we'll see what happens once the game actually comes out and how people start to use that. Is it going to be as easy as seen in that video? Who knows? But if it is, they're probably going to have to nerf that a little bit and make it a bit more difficult to pull off. Another thing I want to mention is realistically the new animation and stuff like that in the game. They do look pretty good. I just wonder, is the game going is it going to have a big improvement from a graphical point of view? Probably not. But one thing that we know that they really did do that's probably going to actually make a very, very big difference is the new meter, where basically as you go to shoot, you have to time it perfectly. If it's a volley or a header, or it seemed like in the video, even if you're going to shoot a precision shot, it seems like even that now involves like a timing meter, so you have to actually hit in the perfect timing. And if you do, does that mean the keeper can't save it? What exactly does that mean? It's really bizarre. I don't think I'm a big fan of this edition. Like, I'm going to obviously reserve my judgment until the game comes out. But as of right now, I'm thinking that's probably going to be a pretty negative thing. But once it comes out, we'll see. Like I said, I am open-minded about it, and I am open to seeing and admitting that it might have been a good idea. But as of right now, I don't think I'm too keen on this new system, but I might be proven wrong. And probably the biggest thing that they showed in that video, apart from Division Rivals, is the new dynamic tactics system, which in my opinion is a very, very big improvement for the quality of life of FIFA players. Not just in terms of like actually going through the menus and stuff like that, but actually being able to, on the fly, change your tactics mid-game. Because the biggest issue I had with FIFA 18 and all the previous games in the FIFA series was really, yes, you could have your custom tactics and that was all fine and cool, but mid-game, especially Ultimate Team, whenever you're playing online, you have to pause and you only have like 40 seconds, something like that, to make all the changes you want. And honestly, I don't have the patience and just to go out there and change that every single game. So I found myself a lot of times, being like winning like a 1-0, something like that, having a lot of trouble and just going ultra defensive or just going defensive, but not really having the team set up the way I want it to. Whereas now, I can do that before each game or whatever. I can have my own custom tactics for when I want to play defensive, ultra defensive, attacking, ultra attacking. I have a formation and a strategy saved for each option. So if I'm playing in a game, I'm winning 1-0, and I want to go defensive, I can go, tap left twice, and I can now have my system, the system I set up, so I know exactly what the team's going to be set up like. I know exactly what the player's going to be where, and that's a beautiful thing. In my opinion, that's a great improvement, and that's going to be something that's going to vastly improve FIFA 19's Ultimate Team mode, and hopefully that'll be carrying over as well to the regular game for people that want to play divisions with using like teams like Real Madrid or whatever they want to play, in the non-FUT, online modes. Hopefully that will also carry over to the career mode. Hopefully that'll just be a gameplay system for all modes, and I very, very much look forward to seeing this because, for example, when I was playing for Ultimate Team, all right, and all of a sudden, like, I start a match against somebody online, and I never know what type of opposition I'm going to go against. So I don't know if my system's going to be overpowered against them, or maybe it's going to have some struggles against them. And now, once I see their team pop up, and let's just say, for example, they have a 3-man defense, which means they're going to be pretty offensive for the most part. Because realistically, it's not like real life where you have your wingbacks who you can give them instructions to stay back. You can do that, of course, in FIFA, but for the most part, they're still going to be bombing forward, and you're still going to have some exposures there. So I know I'm playing against a guy who's going to have a 3-man defense, which means I can exploit them if I play with like a 5-man defense, or if I play very solid defensively, so I can pop in my defensive formation, which could be a 5-4, whatever, a 5-man defense, or maybe you have just a 4-man defense, but have a bit more cover up front with like a diamond shape. There's so many things you can do now to your liking. You can actually customize it to where you want to actually have it to where you're feeling like you're an actual manager of your Ultimate Team. And in my opinion, that is a very, very big improvement and something I very much look forward to seeing how that implements and how solid that is a system moving forward. And if, on the contrary, if I'm playing against a team that's maybe using a 5-man defense, I can now go with a 3-man defense with a 5-man midfield and having 2 strikers as well. That way I have, like, essentially, I can have, or maybe even play like a 4-3-2-1. So I essentially have a striker plus 4 wingers that I can rely on, which means I'm going to be having plenty of players bombing forward, and I'm going to be able to overload the 5-man defense. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, I love the fact that now, based on your opponent's team as it loads up, you now know I want to go either defensive, I want to go offensive, I want to stay with the way I am. Maybe I have like a mirror matchup and I know how to exploit that as well. So that's a very, very interesting thing, and I'm very happy that they finally did something like that, because there's also a whole lot of more options you can do in terms of player instructions. You can now decide how much width is to your team and just so much other stuff. I think the width may have already been there, but they showed quite a few other things that you can now improve. There's so much more customization there, and customization is something that really, really is the focal point of a game like Ultimate Team, where you're consistently trying to have your own system, your own team, and really go out there and dominate all the opposition you play against. So needless to say, I am extremely excited about FIFA 19, and hopefully the gameplay will match the improvements they're making in terms of quality of life and actual just making it easier for you to transition from a menu to the game and really be able to, once you're in the middle of a game, change the tactics and not have to always go into the menu and pause like 2 or 3 times to be able to get everything you want exactly the way you want it. So that's a beautiful thing. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below how excited you are for FIFA 19 and what modes are you specifically looking forward to. Are you a career mode guy, or are you more interested in Ultimate Team? Unfortunately, career mode has pretty much always stayed the same for the past like 10 years, so realistically it hasn't been been improved much, so I haven't really enjoyed career mode in quite a while. Ultimate Team is my mode, but I want you to let me know which ones that you prefer the most, and which improvements gameplay-wise are you most excited about? The tactics system, or possibly even the new moves, and maybe even using the legends. Also, let me know what do you think about the new legends. Are you interested in them, or what do you think? If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell if you want to see all my videos as soon as they come out, because you will be notified, and that's realistically the only way that YouTube will give you any kind of recognition nowadays, unless you can go out there and share the video, which is also very helpful. So thank you so much to every single one of you guys for watching this video, and obviously a big shout out to every single one of my subscribers. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.